Brodes Media.
It's time for a serious talk. I need to analyze whatever you want to call that press conference from Nick Sirianni because it was arguably his worst press conference ever. And that's saying a lot because I'll never forget the first time he ever looked at this fan base with his two eyes and had to answer questions. It was bad. And somehow we are now sitting in a worse position. He's lost it. This team is absolutely collapsing very rapidly, and he's having a difficult time trying to stop the bleeding, and I don't know if he's capable of stopping the bleeding. Some of his answers were so horrendous, I think we're trying to justify it by saying, well, he doesn't want to throw Brian Johnson under the bus. He doesn't want to throw Jalen Hurts under the bus, and he's taken one on the chin for his team and for his coaching staff. While I know you could spin it that way, and I'm sure you want to be optimistic, hoping and praying that that's real, but if you want the real, listen up. He believes everything he's saying because Nick Sirianni is authentic as hell. He doesn't really have a filter, and he just goes, and he talks, and I know he's been here for a few years now, so he's been coached up, and Jeffrey Lurie, Howie Roseman has monitored him, and I'm sure that they dialed it back a tad. But when Nick Sirianni is talking, I don't think he has the willpower to hold it in as smooth as maybe he would like to. When discussing the final plays and the drive where they tossed it to A.J. Brown, hoping for a flag, and he actually admits that you're gotta have it drive, you're gotta have it to get Jake Elliott in field goal position to at least tie the game up and give you a fighter's chance. Your need to have it play is hoping and praying for a zebra to throw out the laundry. That is so disgusting, and that's true. That was their thought process, and you could tell that Sirianni was realizing that he was vomiting out the mouth on the fly, so I guess kudos to him, because then he actually filtered in after the flag talk. It was, oh yeah, and by the way, A.J. Brown is good at making contested catches. Oh, by the way, A.J. Brown is one of the best wide receivers in the league. Well, why don't you start with that? The fact it didn't start with that, that's real. That is real. That is truly how he feels, that he was designing plays with the game on the line instead of actually looking at a formation and strategy and scheming something up nicely to get you in a position to kick a field goal. That's what they want to do. They are too obsessed with the explosive plays, and it has taken apart other elements of this offense. When you praise Quez Watkins' speed, and then you go look at his stats and see 7 receptions for 49 yards this year, what type of deep threat is that? Nobody respects Quez Watkins. His speed's not taking anything off the top. And guess what? You only care about explosive plays so much, you don't use anything underneath. You don't even use that part of the field. So you're telling me that your big, explosive, over-the-top guy has some sensational 7 for 49 statistic. Whoop-de-damn-do. What a crazy deep threat that is. And then, oh yeah, everything underneath is so available. You just want them to push it 50 yards downfield anyway. If you were designing plays and you were an offensive mind, and let's say you did want to focus on A.J. Brown as a very prominent part of this offense, because why wouldn't you? He's super good. He can win a lot of matchups. He's gross. Why isn't there more for him that's easy? You're asking him to do so much hard one-on-one matchups, so much hard stuff, other than a slant. And okay, they can execute a slant for 5 yards on second down to move the chains. And I don't devalue that play. Getting 5 yards on a slant, sign me up. But other than that, what is there for your best wide receiver? other than blind optimism and chucking it. Part of this is on Jalen Hurts. Leaving the pocket early, not reading the field well. But what I can't do is let Nick Sirianni off the hook because Christian McCaffrey from his couch can see some of the plays that are about to happen. It's very predictable. And he's smiling from ear to ear, laying out how this is the same offense. And we've had success utilizing this offense in the past. Yo, Nick, if you're not adapting and developing your offense every single damn week, people catch on super quickly. And the example of Chip Kelly has been utilized a lot over the last week. And I didn't see the correlation because at least when Chip Kelly came in, there was something sexy about it. It was appealing. There's been success under Nick Sirianni, and the first season it ended up in an ass whooping by Tampa Bay on the road. But yes, knowing that that was the first time on the sidelines in the playoffs and the first time on the sidelines with the headset on as a head coach's first season, there's tremendous value in learning what that's like and learning what you need to go into the offseason getting better at and trusting the growth of the quarterback and seeing what Todd Bowles did to you going back to the drawing board. But Chip Kelly's offense was so flashy and so exciting. There was an element of wow. There was never really an element of wow from Sirianni. I guess it doesn't really matter, though, as long as you win. Doug Peterson's offense wasn't anything wow. They had wide open plays, and they made simple wide open plays. And there were other key components, though. It wasn't just that, but that was a part of it. They're so obsessed with this staple. We have staple plays. He doesn't even realize how Christian McCaffrey can see what play is coming next. And that's troublesome. That perked my ears up. Well, we never ran it out of that formation before. So, kudos to him. He's a very high IQ football player. But hold on a second. You don't realize that a very high IQ football player is what makes up majority of this league, a lot of this league, especially a lot of the great teams that you are going to compete against in the playoffs, trying to win a Super Bowl, going for the Lombardi trophy. That's what you have to get through. So if others are recognizing it and you're downplaying it, thinking that, it's just one guy or it's just a small percentage. This is a staple. We believe in this staple. We never ran it out of this formation before. We're fine. No, you're not fine. You're not fine. You're not even aware that the rest of the league has caught up, and it is glaringly obvious that they know what's coming next. They know your plays. They know your scheme. You're not adapting. It's the same offense. You can't brag about it being the same offense. That's not a good thing. It may have worked in the past, but if you're not constantly adding wrinkles and adding a different element and embracing something new, it'll catch up to you fast because it's a copycat league. They are studying the great teams. They are studying the best teams. And they caught up to you.